Hello, my name is Lauren, and I'm going to be doing my presentation about drownings in the United States. So just some background on drownings in the United States. Children's ages through 4, they actually have the highest rate of drownings. So their accrued rate is actually 2.22 per 100,000. And the American Indian population is also up high for having a high rate at 1.88 per 100,000, followed by African Americans at 1.65 per 100,000. And those actually living in the islands of Hawaii, which is predicted, do have a larger rate when it comes to drowning. So their rate is about 3.53 per 100,000. In a whole, in the United States, there are about 11 deaths due to drowning, and there are 22 non-fatal drowning incidents per day, which is still a lot. And the drowning death rates actually decreased from 1.5 to 1.2 per 100,000 in the past 2 years. The annual cost for it is about $273 million in the U.S., which is quite a lot considering that they're having to cover direct and indirect costs for mostly coastal drownings instead of places like pools. Since drowning is such a prevalent issue in the U.S. and is one of the top leading causes of deaths, there have been tried interventions to prevent this issue from happening and reoccurring. So one of these interventions were installing alarms, and it has been effective, but it doesn't replace actual supervision, just because drowning can be a silent death and no one would really know unless they're watching. And there's not a guarantee that the alarm would go off or that it wouldn't be set off by enough movement, and it's possible that someone may not be close enough to the alarm to hear it, so it's not a dependable way, but it is something that could help. Another thing is to remove pool toys. This is mostly for children because they are tempted to reach into pools to try and grab something, and then they could fall in and possibly drown. One of the most effective ways is fencing in the pool. This is really helpful because even if there isn't any supervision, there is a high chance that no child or elderly person or anyone could fall into the pool just because it is already blocked off. And some of them do have locks, which is another good thing to have. Life jackets can also be effective. It is shown that drowning is 80% more likely to happen if someone isn't using a life jacket. That's why in places like in Las Vegas and Lake Mead, even if you are on a boat and not swimming, it is required that you need to have a life jacket on. Based upon my research and everything I've seen and read about drowning, my first proposition would be children ages 0 to 4 should require some type of swim lesson certification. Based on what I've seen, there are specialized coaches who are trained to teach young infants how to swim or give them that preparation in case of an emergency. It is not guaranteed that it will completely save a child from drowning, but having that peace of mind knowing that your child would be prepared can help the situation. And I feel like it could be a benefit to having children present that certification when they're going into certain places like public pools, or even when they reach school grades and that teachers and staff advise that they do get these types of certifications. My second proposition would require all children ages 0 to 4 to have some type of flotation device attached to them in public pools, beaches, rivers, or any place that has an open body of water that's open to the public. It's easier to control in the public just because you can't really require anybody to do certain things in their home. So if they have a pool at their house, you can't check on them 24/7 to make sure that their child is wearing a life vest or having some type of flotation device on them. My third proposition, aside from the flotation devices, is more of a policy change. And I advise that a lot of places have multiple lifeguards keeping watch. Most places that I've been to, I see lifeguard stands, but I don't really see them out doing anything and being close enough where they could save somebody from drowning. So having multiple people having access to people all around that are swimming could be really beneficial, just because you don't know what type of natural waters are going to do, and you never know if it's going to be rough and the current could take somebody. So having multiple people in a certain amount of places on beaches or lakes and such would be super beneficial.